Hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Chloe and on this channel we talk about all things books. And speaking of all the books, ta-da! I have a new library. If you watched my last video, it was a really short little vlog of me putting all of this together. And I have literally just finished filming the outro for that today and then hit record to film this. So this is like the same day if you watched that last video. And I just want to spend all of my time in this new book room because it just looks so good. I want to be round my books. I want to be able to see them and look at them whenever I want. So I decided what better way to celebrate having a new library than to do a 24-hour readathon. I did one of these a few years ago and it was actually really good. I think I got through about 4 or 5 books. They were quite short books, so like don't be too impressed. But this is the last weekend in February and I still have 4 books on my TBR that I haven't read. So I need to have like a last ditch effort to get through as many as I can in these next 24 hours. So that's what I'm going to do. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It means I can get tons of reading done and it also means that I can sit in my library and stare at my books. What else do you want? So I'm going to start this at 12:30. It's 25 past just now. I'm going to pick out the books. I actually need to find them because there is no rhyme or reason to how any of this has been put together. It's just straight vibes. The only shelf that has a theme is this one. So this is my Brandon Sanderson / sci-fi shelf. So I've got my Mistborn books and then I've got my Red Rising ones and then there's a few other sci-fis here and then there's Saga, the graphic novels. So that's the only one that has a theme. That's sci-fi. The rest, just vibes. So I've actually got no idea where the books are that I need to read. I think there's somewhere on this one. But yeah, I'm going to pick out them. I'll hopefully be able to finish at least 3 of them and make a good start on a 4th. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go pick some books. Okay, books have been picked. So the first one is actually one that have already started, and it is The Roommate by Rosie Danan. So I'm actually not sure how far through this I am. I think I'm on chapter 20. I'll have to look back. The really frustrating thing is it was in my bag for work and my bookmark fell out of it. And now I can't remember where it was because so much has happened in the last couple of days. But I'm pretty sure I'm about 20 chapters in. I started it on Monday and have been slowly making my way through it. So I'm going to continue on with this. I might read a little bit of it and then swap to the audiobook. I'm not sure. I might read this and then for my next one start doing a little bit of the audiobook because I've actually still got editing to do for tomorrow's video, which is now last week. To you it's last week's video. Yeah, hang on. That's confusing. For me it's tomorrow, but for you it was last week. So I still need to edit that video and get it done and ready to upload, but I think I might try to do some actual reading first and then I'll do the audiobook later just to break it up a little bit. But anyway, let's set the timer. I'm so nervous. I think how I'm going to do this is split it into 2 12-hour blocks. So we'll start the first one today at 12:30. I've got 2 minutes. Start it at 12:30 and then that takes us to midnight. And then tomorrow I'm going to try and start it a little bit earlier in the morning because I actually have to go to work on Monday and I don't want to be up until like 1 AM reading on a work night because I'm too old for that. So that is the plan, I think. But yeah, okay, let's get this timer started. Let's get reading and see how many books we can get through. Okay, it is just after 3 o'clock, so it's been a couple of hours now, 2.5 hours, and I have finished The Roommates. Book number 1 of the readathon is done, complete, finished. So this one, it wasn't great. I didn't love it. The storyline was okay, but the main character, Clara, just really annoyed me. Like, there was just something about her, I couldn't gel with her at all. There was times where she was getting really worked up and flustered about things, and I was kind of just a bit like, just get over it. It's not that bad. Like, you're supposed to be 27. What the heck? Do you know? Like, she just seemed a bit silly, a bit childish. I didn't mesh with her. But it's done. I think I would probably give this like a 2.5, a 2.75 maybe. It wasn't great, but I could see how if you are a romance lover that this could be enjoyable. But yeah, the main character, she took all enjoyment out of it for me, so this one wasn't for me. The next book that I have chosen to read is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This has been on my TBR for the longest time, and it's quite a big book. It's over 400 pages, so I've decided that I'm going to start with the audiobook for this one in particular, because it'll get me a little bit of the way through. Hopefully I can get maybe about, I don't know, 50 to 100 pages listened to, and then that sort of cuts out how many I have to read tonight. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I know that this is a lot spicier than it looks. I'm not sure how to feel about this one going into it. But anyway, let's go get food. I'll catch up with you once I've eaten and tell you my thoughts. Actually been another couple of hours since I last spoke to you, but I had something to eat and I got to page 102, so I am this far in. So I'm just about to start chapter 12. I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I was really skeptical going into this. It just didn't feel like something I would enjoy, and I kind of think that I let the TikTok hype cloud my judgment for it a little bit. I mean, it's still very early days, but it started out okay. I was very apprehensive about picking it up because I don't usually get on well with TikTok hype books, but so far it's actually been okay. That being said, we haven't got to any of the spicy scenes yet, so depending on how many of them and how depending on how many there are, that opinion might change. But so far, so good. I've still got about 100 and something pages left. 327 pages left, so still quite a big chunk of this book to go, and I have got, you can't see that, I don't know why I'm showing you, I've got 6.5 hours left, so 6.5 hours feels like a good amount of time to get this book done. I don't know if I will finish it all though, I don't know if I'll read all the way through or whether I'll just break it up and switch to another one, but I kind of want to get it finished. I did listen to the audiobook for a little while as well, and just pottered around the house because I had a few bits to do. But yeah, now I'm just gonna plonk myself down on the couch. I might make a coffee soon, just to, give me some energy. So I've got another 6.5 hours of reading to go. Woohoo! But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Go plonk myself on the couch, make a coffee, and just try and get through as much of this as we can before dinner. Okay, let's go. I just had a break because I ordered some food, but I paused my timer whilst I was eating because I wasn't reading anything. It's just too difficult to try and like hold the book and eat, especially because paperbacks in the UK are just like, I mean, look at that. Really, what can you do with that? And you try and open it and it just breaks the spine, and the whole thing's just a mess. So I paused it, I had a break whilst I was having dinner. But it is now 25 past 9, and I have 3.5 hours left to go for today, which means I will be reading until about 1 a.m. I am 200 pages in. The first 100 pages went in really quick, and then the second lot of 100 pages was just really slow. It's taken me all of that time to read them. I don't know, there's just something about the story where it's just, it's okay. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, but it's definitely not going to be like a 5-star read, I don't think. At the minute, it's given 3-star vibes. It's just okay, but I am at the halfway point now. I don't know if I'll finish the book tonight. I think I'll definitely finish this in the challenge, but whether that's tonight or not, I'm not sure. I'll be happy if I can get another 100 pages done, and then that only leaves me with about 120. So if I can get to around page 300 before going to bed tonight, I will be very happy. But I think what I might do now is go have a bath and maybe just read in the bath for a bit because I just feel like that's nice, cozy reading vibes, you know, like bubble bath, candles, book, you know, it might just help me get a little bit further. So that's what I'm gonna go do, and then I'm just gonna try and read as much as possible. So the next time I check in will probably be before I go to bed. Yes, probably. So I will speak to you then. Good morning. It is Sunday morning, and I thought I would quickly hop on and do an update before I start today's batch of reading because I was way too tired to do it last night. It just wasn't happening. I stayed up until 1 a.m. reading, and you're just gonna have to trust that I did, because I was so tired by the end of it. There was just absolutely no way that I was doing an update. So a little bit of trust is needed between you and I. You can believe me. I stayed up, I did the reading, and I got to page 319. So we've got this much left to go. We've got about 110 pages left. I really don't want to do another 12 hours of reading today. It's going to feel so long, but I'm committed to the challenge. We're going to get it done. So I'm going to spend a couple of hours finishing this book off. I'm hoping to get it done by about midday, and then I can start book 3, which is good. I'm enjoying this book. It's okay. I think I said in my last update, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I'm starting to find myself just skimming through all of the spicy scenes because there's a lot of them, like a lot, and it's kind of getting just a bit repetitive, but we move. The story itself is fine. So I've got my cup of tea, I'm going to get started. It's 10 a.m. just now, so 12 hours to go. Here we go. We are done. Book number 2 of the readathon is officially finished. It is 3 o'clock. I have 8.5 hours left. I took a little break when I had lunch, and then I had to go out to the shops to buy a few things for dinner tonight. So I paused the timer whilst I done that. So there's still 8.5 hours left. Whether or not I'll get all of those done today, or maybe just save a few hours for tomorrow night, I'm not sure. But either way, book number 2 is done. So this book, I was pleasantly surprised by this. I put off reading it for such a long time because I was so scared of the TikTok hype, and I thought I would hate it. but I actually enjoyed it. The spice or the smut scenes in it started to get a little bit repetitive towards the end. I did start to skim through them a little bit, but the actual story I really enjoyed. The ending was so cute. I think I'm gonna give this a solid 3, maybe 3.5 stars. It was quite good. I'll go more in depth on my thoughts next week when I do my February wrap up, but this was a solid book. Okay, on to book number 3 then. I am going to read The Unbecoming of Maradaya by Michelle Hodkin. So this is another quite big book. It's over 400 pages. It's 450 pages. So it's quite chunky. I don't know if I'll finish it today, but I definitely want to try and make some good progress on it. It's YA though, so like the writing's bigger and there's less words on the page. So although it's 450 pages, it's not actually that bad, so I'm hoping it's going to be a quick read. And this is the one that I pulled out of my TBR jar for the book that's been on my TBR the longest. It was bought, I think, back in 2014, so I've had this book for over 10 years and it's just been staring at me, judging me ever since because I haven't read it. So I think it is high time I got round to reading this book. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just read now for the rest of the night and see where I get to before I get too tired. But I'll update you on my thoughts when I've read a little bit of it. Okay, back to reading. Who do we know that got completely carried away with reading her book and didn't film any updates and was just sitting there minding her own business when the timer went off because it was the end of our 24-hour readathon? Me! So there we go. The readathon is done without much fanfare, I have to say, because I got a little bit too into my book and just didn't film any updates. So here is my update at the end. I managed to get to chapter 40, which is page 299. So according to Goodreads, that is 66% of the book. And let me just say, if I had read this book back in 2014, or even back when it was released in 2011, I think it was, if I had read it back then, teenage me would be lapping this up. I would have loved this book and its characters. Adult me, however, has spent almost the whole 300 pages rolling her eyes and muttering under her breath that I am way too fucking old for this shit. It's been okay. However, the conversations that the characters have and the interactions that they have with the adults around them is just wow. Just wow. It's so cringe. It really is. The conversations that the main character has with her love interest, I hope and pray that as a 16-year-old I was not that cringe. I know I probably was, but oh my god, I cannot believe that. Do teenagers really talk like that? Or did they really talk like that? Because they probably don't now, but wow. And also there's scenes in it where she's like, the main character goes to school and like one of her arch nemesis is her Spanish teacher who's just out to get her and does everything that she can to make her life horrible. And she shows her by standing up one day during the Spanish oral exam and gives it to her by talking fluent Spanish that she learned in like a day. That just doesn't happen. Those are the sorts of fantasies that you have in your head when you're in the shower trying to imagine the way that you can say fuck you to everyone that's pissed you off that day. It does not, however, happen in real life. I haven't obviously got to the end of it yet, so I've got no idea what my final thoughts are, but at the minute it's just one big eye roll. This story is just full of teenage angst. There's a little bit of a paranormal element to it as well. There's a little bit of an underlying mystery that I have to admit is keeping me reading. I've seen through some of the reviews on Goodreads that there's a bit of a cliffhanger at the end, which seems to get mixed reviews, so whether or not I'll like it or hate it, I don't know. Whether or not it'll be enough for me to continue with the series, again, I don't know. But I will be able to update you in my wrap up in a couple of days' time because I'll have finished it by then. I only have about another 150 pages left to go for this book, but at the minute it's wow. It's a bit cringe. But like I said, if I had read it when I bought it, back when I was, I don't know, like 11 or 12, I probably would have loved it. But not so much just now. It does make me very nostalgic for that sort of writing though. It's so funny when you read how this has been written, just the language that's used and just the character's internal monologue and her narration. It's so different to the prose that we get now, and it actually makes me very nostalgic for those old style books, you know, that sort of 2008 to 2000 and maybe about 14-15 era. And I actually think from this I want to go back and reread some of my old favourites, you know, like the Twilight books and the Hunger Games, and I think I might do a reread later in the year. But anyway, I'm getting off track. This book, I've still not decided what star rating I'm going to give it. I'm very much loving how much I'm hating it and therefore having a really good time. But it's also not a bad book, it's just very much a product of the time that it was written in. So yeah, more thoughts on this at my in my monthly wrap up, which will be on Sunday. Anyway guys, that is the end of my 24-hour readathon. I hope you enjoyed spending the last 24 hours with me. I need a break from reading. I am not going to pick up my book now, at least for a couple of days. I just need to decompress and not see so many pages or words on pages. I need to go do something else with my with my time. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more bookish content from me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.